What is going on, guys? Today I'm coming to you from Bogota, Colombia with a relatively controversial message today that's gonna right along the lines of how comfortable I feel disclosing certain things about my personal life onto the internet. And that is my experience as a passport bro. So, for those of you that don't know, a passport bro is a guy from typical Western countries like the US, the UK, countries in Europe, Australia, that have taken a liking to foreign women, but in Asian or Latin American countries, like, I don't know, Thailand or like Colombia, etc. I figure if you can relate to me at all, then maybe you can get something out of this. This is kind of a risk for me to make a video like this, but you know what? I'll take one for the team, and we'll just see how it goes. So in any case, I feel like I should preface this with some background about myself to kind of paint the picture of just how I've dated over the years. So I've always been a traditional guy. Like I've typically wanted a long-term relationship that would eventually culminate in marriage. I've only ever had 3 girlfriends, and I can't even say that they were longer term because the first one, my first ever girlfriend, was in high school, and that lasted for 2 weeks. I was like super awkward about it. Because I was awkward about it, she was awkward about it. It just couldn't work. So that was that. Fast forward to college, I got my second girlfriend, but it was also for 2 weeks. But then this time I just realized I wasn't really feeling it, and I asked her to be my girlfriend way too soon. In any case, fast forward from that to the following year, and I made it official with another girl I was seeing for it was like 3 or 4 months, but it was kind of stupid because she was a senior, I was a sophomore, and yeah, like once she graduated, she lived far away from me, so like there was like no room to make that work at all. So in any case, that's my dating history. Like after that, I had a situationship for like a couple years, but it was a complicated situation, and yeah, I didn't really start dating until I got my own place. Like last year, it was like in November 2022, I got my first apartment, and from that point on, I actually had a little bit of momentum on Hinge. Before then, I didn't really have any luck on the dating apps, but yeah, I don't know, just like I was going on like a date every other week or so for like a few months, but I just wasn't really feeling it, so I kind of gave up after a while. I've also occasionally asked girls for their number at the gym or whatever, but that's a 50-50 chance, and nothing really came out of that either. So I don't know, I was just doing my thing, living life. But something that I've noticed in general is that I've had my best success with dating is when I've been traveling. And that goes beyond the whole like passport bro thing, because like I've gone on group trips before, and like I've hit it off with girls on those trips. So yeah, like I don't know, it's just something about traveling just lights me up in an attractive way. I don't know. But yeah, that's just a little insight about me with dating. And now we can get into some of the good stuff. So I've been on the dating apps like for almost all of my travels, but I'm not going to really touch upon Asian countries at all. I've only ever been to India and Thailand, but both of those trips didn't really have any room for me to date because they were very structured. Thailand was earlier this year, and I was on a group trip. India was in 2020 actually, like right before the pandemic, and I was with 2 of my best friends from college, and that was very highly planned. So again, no time for dating apps or anything really. So I'm gonna leave those countries out, but we're gonna focus on Latin America. I've been to a fair amount of Latin American countries. I've been to Guatemala, Ecuador, Mexico, Bolivia, Peru, and Colombia. That's 6. I can count. And Guatemala and Bolivia were both centered around wildlife tours. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to date, but I was experimenting with Tinder and Bumble when I was in Guatemala, and something I noticed was that I was just getting more matches in general, like with minimal effort. Like when I was in Guatemala, like I met this one chick. Well, we didn't meet, but like we were just talking for a while, like maybe like a month or 2 after my trip. So that was just like really cool. And I was just like, whatever, So that was cool. When I was in Bolivia, I remember getting matches, but like nothing really came from it. But the only like substantial experience I had came from this girl I actually met organically. It was a friend of a friend that I met at the hostel that I was at like before my trip to see the Jaguars. And yeah, like we hit it off, and when I got back from the Jaguars, I took her out on a date, and it was cool. The following year, last year, 2023, I went to Mexico City twice, but I wasn't really dating there either because I was more focused on just like meeting people in general. Like I was like making friends through this app or online community called couch surfing, which was pretty cool. But then let's jump to this year. Let's jump to the juice, right? My travels this year are as follows. I started in Peru in February. I was in the Amazon for like 2 weeks, and then after that I was in Cusco, and then after that I was in Lima. That basically took up all of February. In March, I was in Colombia. I was in Medellin for 2 weeks. Then I went to Mount Azales for a week. Then I went to Cartagena, and then I went back to Medellin, and then I was in Nuquí. After Nuquí, I went to Rio Negro. I was in Colombia up until mid-April, and then I returned back in June, relatively recently, to Bogota, because I actually haven't really done anything in Bogota yet, so here we are. But I haven't really explored the city. I've been doing wildlife photo adventures, so I was in Peru from the beginning of February up until like the first week of March. I started in Iquitos and went to the Amazon for 10 days and came back. I was in Iquitos for like a day before and a day after, and I actually did have a chance to date a couple girls before and after Iquitos, and that was really cool. And after Iquitos, I went to Cusco. I was there for essentially 2 weeks. I dated a girl in Cusco. That was really cool. And then I went to Lima for like a week. One of the girls I met in Iquitos actually met me in Lima, and we like went on an adventure, which was kind of cool. And then when I went to Colombia, I didn't do any dating in Medellin, which may have been for the best because of like all the stories about like girls like drugging dudes and robbing them and shit. And also, to be completely honest, Medellin has a lot of, I don't know how controversial that is for YouTube, but yeah, not good. They're all over Tinder and stuff, so. But I did get to see a lot more of Colombia, even though I was in Medellin for like most of it. In any case, when I was in Peru, over the span of a month, I ended up dating 3 different girls. And when I was in Colombia, over the span of a month and a half, I ended up dating 4 different girls. Yeah, like, I don't know what else to say, guys. Like, it was relatively effortless. Most of these girls came from Tinder. One of the Colombian girls that I met was organic, per se. Like, it was a girl I met at a club. But the rest of them were from Tinder, and just the girls here on Tinder were just super responsive to me. So, some disclaimers that I want to make about my dating exploits here is that I have been using exclusively Tinder, and I decided to use Tinder Platinum. I know, paying for this is probably a bad look, but I really don't care because I think it's worth it, and I think it does make a difference here to pay for it because it's just made the process go faster for me, right? Like matching, and then once you get the match, it's basically just, it's up to you and the person. But I don't think Tinder Platinum makes a difference in the US because I just haven't really been having the same luck back in the US. And whenever you do get a match in the US, like the girls are just, it's such a pain in the ass to get them to like converse with you. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad at it, but here it's just so much easier once you match with a girl on Tinder to actually like get off the app and go on to WhatsApp or Instagram or what have you. This is my exact Tinder profile that I've been using. I haven't really changed it at all, and I've been getting good results with it, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But in any case, most of the girls that I met came from Tinder, and yeah, I don't know, it's been effortless. And I'm not saying that to brag, but I will say that on all of these occasions, it was much, much easier to set up these dates than it would have been here, just because I feel like the process was so much more smooth. Like, chatting with these girls, they're more like receptive to me and more like willing to get off the dating apps and stuff and switch to like WhatsApp or Instagram or what have you. And I was just, able to put together a plan even though I like don't know the area too much, and just everything kind of flowed. It was like effortless. It was so refreshing. Cause like in the US back home, it's not refreshing. It's a challenge. Everything about dating back in the US is just so much more of a challenge. Girls are not as receptive to your messages. I find that not only is it like harder for me in general to get matches back home, but the girls aren't even like receptive. Like they don't respect me and like they don't like respect my time or anything, and it's just really aggravating and it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But here it's just so much more refreshing, and like I'm able to like do more for less. And I only mean that in the sense that like I'm putting in less effort but getting more out of the date, if that makes sense. And it's really cool, and I'm just really grateful that I'm in an opportunity where I'm able to like make these experiences happen. In any case, yeah, being a passport bro is legit to an extent. Like I'll admit it's been a lot easier for me to meet girls here, and it's like honestly made me want to like move here straight up for a longer period of time so I can actually like get a girlfriend and simultaneously like I don't know, learn Spanish or something. Because I really like the ambiance of being down here. But all that to say, like I genuinely feel like the luck that I have down here isn't like strictly because like I'm an American. Coming to Latin America or Asia to specifically to date is not like a get out of jail free card or something like that, you know? Like there's no substitute for doing the hard work on yourself as a person in all aspects, like your career, finances, physique, health, confidence, social skills, like all of that stuff, like having that stuff kind of like dialed in to some extent from your own life experience, from your own country first, is huge. It's like super important, because I don't think that like if I had come here like when I was like 18, I don't think I would have had the same results. I don't think I would have had the same personality to be able to just like handle it. And just like for one, I didn't know Spanish at all back then. At least now I know the basics and I can like kind of get around. It's made things easier. Like even though I barely speak Spanish, like I'm still able to date these girls and actually like make meaningful connections. So I think that kind of speaks for itself. It's really awesome. There's that aspect, but then there's also the aspect of like having some money to my name where I can actually provide for to an extent, and then just your essence as a guy, as like a man, to like, you know, take the lead and control. Like I that wasn't me when I was 18. No way. Like not only did I have my career as like a software engineer, a good chunk of change saved up, years in the gym, so like I have like a built physique, not like shredded or anything, but like I'm built, and just the trial and error of just building social confidence over the years, which culminated in me having the confidence to freaking spew all this bullshit on YouTube. But I hope you know what I mean by that, you know. I'm not saying this like from a place of bragging. I'm not trying to like make myself out to be better than anyone. I'm just trying to authentically share my experiences in a way so that you can take something from this and maybe use it if you're able. My best advice would be if you're struggling to date in the US or UK or your home country and you want to try dating in another country, make sure you have all of your ducks in a row first, where you actually have the means to go to a different country and like survive comfortably to an extent, you know what I mean? Or at least enjoy yourself without worrying, and then I would expect you to have some layer of success with dating. Like if you're overweight or broke or not confident in yourself as a dude, I would just work on that stuff first in your home country before off to Latin America or Asia or something. But yeah, guys, so I guess that's about all of the information I want to include in this video. I don't feel like it was super controversial, and I hope that I wasn't coming off as condescending or anything, because I'm just trying to be as authentic as I can here, right? I'm not trying to like out myself too much, but at the same time, like I feel like my experiences are like more realistic. Like I'm not one of those like players that's just like walking the streets of Medellin and like picking up chicks like left and right. Like that's not me. One, I'm not fluent in Spanish, and even if I was, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I hope that you guys got something out of this. If you want me to go like more in depth with this topic, like I mean, maybe I'll make another video on this, but I wanted to test the waters first, right? Like see the reaction and see what people have to say, or if anyone has a similar experience or anything like that. I'm talking kind of like a little monotone because it's at the time of recording it's actually like 2:30 a.m. and I gotta leave for a flight soon. And I've been recording multiple takes of this video like literally for like the last like couple hours. So yeah, it's been it's been a cool way to send myself off from Bogota. Like I had to film this before I left Bogota because like I feel like Colombia is the country where I have to film a video like this. But in any case, I hope you guys got something out of this video. If you resonated with anything that I said, like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.